Alright, let's get right to it. There's 50 Shadowtree Fragments in the game. I'm going to show you how to find all of them today. So the first one is in the Church of Consolation. It's in the south part of the starting area in the DLC. Go ahead and run past this knight, and you get 2 fragments here. Next one is right outside the Scorched Ruins. You're going to head to the east, and you're going to get to the graveyard here. There's a little sparkling Shadowpot guy. When you see these guys, they usually have something good, so make sure you kill them, but they'll disappear if you don't kill them quickly. So run in, hit them with a big attack, and usually there's a ton of guys around them, so just kind of get in, get out, grab your fragment, and be done with it. Alright, so the next one is going to be at the Grace, right beside where you meet Freya and the Hornsent. This is an easy one to get. Same with the next one here, it's right beside Ansbach and Moor. After that, go to the plateau that's pretty close by. Get to the top and jump on the horse. Take the path that goes to the right. This will take you to another graveyard, and there's another Shadowpot guy. So same as before, try to be quick and kill him before he disappears. If he does disappear, just reload at the Grace and go back and try again. You can't miss it permanently. You can take him out with range as well. So there's a number of things you can do to make sure you get these guys easily. After that, right outside of Castle Ensis, this is another one that's pretty hard to miss. You're probably going to walk past it on the way to this Grace, but from the Grace you go south, and it's right in front of the statue here. There's another one in the starting area that is close to Thiollier. It's right at the Grace that he sits next to. Now once you get into Belurat, you'll eventually find a shortcut that unlocks this elevator and opens this door from the other side. Once you get that, take the shortcut up and go to this area with the spiders. That's the area with the bone bow, so you might know where that is. Jump over the rubble and go through this little area here. There's some flies. They'll jump at you. Go ahead and run past them. And we've got a Michaelis Cross here. There is a map that kind of shows you where this is, but I find those maps kind of useless. So, yeah, there it is. So here's one in the Cerulean Coast. It's right beside the Grace here, so this one is fairly tough to miss. There's another one in the Cerulean Coast area. This one is a lot trickier, actually. So from the Grace that I've shown, take the path that I kind of outlined on the map there. Go ahead and ride past all the enemies. There's a few things in this area. A Starlight Shard. There's a curved sword, so go ahead and explore. But when you're done with that, take the path that I'm showing you here. This will take you to a little cave that actually has a demi-human chief in it. He's hiding in the corner, and he just wants to pounce on you. So either be prepared to fight him when you go in, or just go in and grab the item and get out on the horse like I did here. Alright, so we head back to Castle Ensis. Now that we're actually going through Castle Ensis, there's one right at the Grace here that's tough to miss, and then once you get through Castle Ensis, there's one at the Grace here that Leda stands by, so another one that you can't really miss. We've got a ton in this area, in the Moorth Ruins, so here's one right beside the Grace next to the ruins, right next to Dane. From there, you can head over to the west, and there's this little encampment here with a few soldiers. There's one more fragment here. It's in front of the statue of America. Actually, all these statues of America, I think, have fragments, so if you ever see the statue from afar, go check it out. There's one south of the ruins. This is actually another one with a Shadowpot enemy like before. And if you're watching this and you need 1 or 2 more fragments and you're not sure which one it is, it's probably one of these Shadowpot guys, so this is the second of 4 guys. Be careful of the Curse Blade here. When you go in, he'll try to jump at you, and these guys are actually pretty tough. You can take this guy out with a bow or a spell or something if you want to make it a little bit easier. We've got another 2 in a church here. A lot of the churches have 2. This is the one that has Quayline, where he invades you. You don't need to fight him to get the fragments here. You can go in and just grab the fragments and peace out. We've got a couple more in this area, actually. So this one from the Grace that Leda stands next to, just head north. If you haven't done all the quest lines yet, don't really go past that Fire Golem guy, because that's going to trigger an event. Make sure you've got your quest lines advanced as far as you can. Otherwise, you can grab this fragment right here. Alright, so one more in the Moorth area. Actually, 2 more in the Moorth area. So there's one here next to a waterfall. This is actually the path that you take to get to the lower part of Rauh Base. So you can remember that for later. I'm going to show you one fragment in the lower part over there. Coming up in a minute. But for now, here's this one. And then the final one in the Moorth area. So this is on the plateau above the Fort of the Reprimand. Back to Rauh Base, which I just mentioned. You're going to find the Temple Town ruins. There's a little opening. It's a little tricky to find, but just come from the southwest of it, and you're going to find the little opening here. Go up the stairs, and you can double jump to the opening like I do, or you can just ride along the top and then drop down and turn around. Either way is fine. Kill that little shadow guy, grab your fragment, and then you're good. So now we're in the mountain area, the Dragon Mountain. This is the area where the two big boulders fall down, so just go to the right, avoid those, and then go ahead and you're going to find that fragment up against the wall. This one's tough to miss, but you might be distracted by the boulders, so there it is. Next, we go to Charros' Hidden Grave. So once you start heading towards the mountain area, you're going to unlock the path to Charros' Hidden Grave. From this grace, you just head through the water here. There's going to be a boss that comes out. You can ignore it for now, but just keep going in this direction. Once you get to the top, you're going to see a hippo enemy here. So this is a bit of a mini-boss. You'll see a few of these throughout the game, and they always drop Scadutree Fragments, so they're good to kill. If you're not ready to fight them right away, just put a marker and come back later. So the next one is at the beginning of the Shadow Keep. Those were all the ones that we can get before we go into the Shadow Keep. This is the beginning of the Shadow Keep, though. You have to fight this enemy in order to proceed further. This one will actually give you 2 Scadutree Fragments. Once you've made your way through that dungeon a little bit, you'll find a secret path at one point that'll take you to the area that I've just shown you on the map. When you get to the Grace here, just go ahead and jump on Torrent. There's a bunch of enemies around here that you can just ride past. So take this path here, and you're going to want to drop down carefully. If you drop too far, you'll definitely die. You can grab this dry leaf seal if you want that. Don't go further than this point, or else you'll be too low. You won't be able to get back up. Go up this stream here. Just get to the top. Not really any enemies that you have to worry about. Just a couple of Miranda blooms and stuff like that. And it's just sitting in a coffin, so just make sure you don't miss it. It's a little bit obscured by the mist that's close by. And we'll get a quick look at the map here. There's another grace that looks like it's much closer to that, but it's really high up, so you can't get there from there. From the same grace that we just got that last fragment from, we're going to head down on the little tombstone ledge things. Once we get to the bottom, we'll find another hippo, actually 2 more hippos, patrolling in the same area. You don't have to fight them at once. It's not a duo fight or anything like that. You can fight them one by one, get the rewards one by one, so feel free to do that. And they're far enough apart that they're not going to both be aggroed at the same time unless you just end up, in a tough situation. So go through, kill one. If you're low on flasks, you can go back and heal up, replenish all your stuff, come back and kill the other one. So you can see right there, they're not really that close to each other, so you don't have to worry about both being aggroed at once. Alright, now we're in the Abyssal Woods. This area is a little bit tricky to reach, but once you get here, you'll find this church. This is where the map is, and you've got 2 Scadutree Fragments. Keep exploring, you find another grace that's halfway through the Abyssal Woods. You don't have to fight any of the grabby guys to get to this point, so don't worry about that. Just a few mice around, and a couple of the smaller Horn-Scent Inquisitor guys. Just head directly north from the grace, get to this water area, and then curl around, and you're going to find 1 Scadutree Fragment just hanging out at the tree over here. These enemies are not too tough. You can fight them. They're pretty slow. You can go past them. Now we're back into the Shadow Keep, so here's one right beside a grace. You're going to find this along the path. You can't really miss it. And same with this next one here. This is the last one in the main part of the Shadow Keep. And this is right before the boss at the end. So you're going to fight a Fire Knight on a bridge right before you reach this point. And then you come and get this grace, and then that's the boss right ahead. Once you've gone through the Shadow Keep, you'll open the path to the upper part of Rauh Base as well. So from the first grace there, head out, and instead of taking the main path, you want to go to the left, and you'll find an elevator here. It's a little bit tough to see until you actually approach it. Hit the button and go down. There's really only one way to go once you go down here, so just go ahead and explore. There's a dead end to the right here that you can see, and then there's a tunnel. Go through the tunnel, down the stairs. We've got 1 more hippo. This is actually the last hippo in the game, so once you've killed him, we don't have to worry about any more of these guys. Alright, so back to that last grace. You're going to proceed through the area as normal. Not really anything to worry about outside here. Just hop on Torrent, head through. And we go through these ruins. This is actually a pretty cool area, but it can be a little bit confusing. So head through, and you're going to open this first door. You don't need to find a lever or anything. You just open it with your hands, go straight through. And then instead of going through the second door, which you might see is still closed in my game at this point, go through this little tunnel here. Go past the scorpion guys. There's a couple that'll drop down, so be careful. Go to the right, take a right again, and we've got one more Shadowpot guy here. So if you're missing one fragment, there's a really good chance that this is the one. Alright, once you make your way through the first part of Rauh Base, you get to a grace here that has another Scadutree Fragment. That's right after you fight a little boss. And then when you cross the bridge here, this is the last one in the Rauh Base area. So we're going to go right through this area, straight on in, and it's just sitting right there. So another one that's pretty easy to find. Alright, so once you go through the side path in the Shadow Keep, I think it's called the Church District, you're going to do this puzzle where you drain the water. After you drain the water, backtrack, and you'll probably remember seeing a statue that was holding an item. You might have died trying to jump on it before because the water was there. Now you can freely try, and if you mess up, you just go to the bottom and go on back up. No big deal. Alright, so this is right before you fight a boss that you'll eventually come to at the end of this area, and you can't really miss that fragment. Now once you kill the boss that's in the area that I've shown here, just ride on through, and this is a huge gold mine right here, so we actually get 5 Scadutree Fragments. On the way up here, there is a little shack to the left. You can explore there as well. There's a talisman and an enemy that gives you some pants. It is good to have pants, but it is better to have Scadutree Fragments. And here we get 5 Scadutree Fragments. So, of course, we do a little celebration because we're happy about our fragments. Alright, so now we're in the fissure area. You can't get here until you've broken Miquella's Great Rune, but this one's right beside a grace. You can't miss it. Same with this one in the final area of the game. And then from there, we're going to go up the stairs. This one is actually pretty tricky to find as well. So kill these enemies. These guys are absolute bastards. So kill him, head down the stairs. I don't think you really have to worry about that guy. He's not going to see you. So go down the stairs here. To the right, I kind of passed the hallway there, but there's a spirit ash there you can grab. Otherwise, make your way through this path. It's a little bit tricky. You just got to jump very carefully. You can see I almost fall there. There's a few items here. I'm not grabbing them all in this video, but go ahead and explore in your own time. Don't want to spoil too much. Drop down here. This guy will try to ambush you. It seems like a dead end here, but you can actually jump to this window. You're meant to jump to this window. Go out and be prepared for another ambush here. They love to ambush you in this area. So we've got a little scorpion guy. So we deal with him, and then over to the side we've got a Scadutree Fragment, and keep exploring that path. You'll find a pretty cool item. Alright, so we're back to that grace one more time. We're going to go back up the stairs, and instead of dropping down, we're going to take the actual forward path. We've got a couple of these grave birds here. This is actually a pretty tough area. They'll shoot this spell at you, which is why I'm hiding. If you get nailed with that spell, that can fully delete you from the game if you take the whole thing. Try to fight them one by one if you can, and then just make your way forward. From there, not really any major threats. We've got a lone bird here. We've got a guy with his back turned here. And just keep making your way forward. Crouch down once you get to this point, because there's a beast guy who will aggro on you if you get a little bit too close. Alright, now we've just got the last one here. It's right beside a grace. You can't miss it. And that's it, all 50 Scadutree Fragments. Thank you for watching.